I think you said enough about Vienna.
I said enough.
Yeah,
I have to say, we had visits from all segments of the family, including.
I think you said that.
All right, including Jack and Billy, who loved to go to Damel's cafe and pick out delicious and wonderful torts and cakes. And I think we had several comments that Billy was such a cute little boy. Anyhow, we come back from Vienna.
So did you like Vienna? You liked the city,
We loved the city,
the culture?
and we've been back there since, and we always enjoy Vienna. Let's see, what else? Well, we came back, moved into an apartment or condo in Friendship Heights. We came back and bought this lovely house in Kenwood, of which we are now sitting. I retired from, well, I had worked for a while for the Atlantic Council of the United States on matters of nuclear nonproliferation. I have not done very much professionally since then, since I'm pretty damn old now. And I played golf for a number of years at the Chevy Chase Club. And now I have sore knees, and I hope to get back to playing golf maybe 6 months from now. I don't know what I've forgotten.
You have new knees.
What?
You have new knees.
Your new knees.
Oh, that's what I said. Two
Oh,
knees.
you said you had sore
I had
knees.
sore knees.
And now you've got new knees.
I didn't want
You
to get
didn't
into too much
explain.
gory detail. Yes, I had a surgery on the both knees. Now about 3 or 4 weeks after the second knee, and looking forward to getting the damn knees to function properly and get rid of all that anesthesia that's making my brain a little clouded. So that's my excuse for omitting several details of this important life.
That's a good end.
Well, hold on, I've got some more, just a few more questions. What was your first car?
What was my first car that I owned? It was a 1965 Volkswagen Beetle, and it was a family car on Bolton Road until I had parked the car in the Bethesda garage, and someone stole it. That was the end of that car. Second car was at the
Mercedes.
Mercedes-Benz, which was a lemon, and that didn't work out too well. It just, every time we drove it, it just emitted this big black smoke. Then various other cars. How many cars have we gone through? The Buick. We had a Buick at one time.
Oldsmobile.
The Honda that you gave me, very nicely.
The what?
The Honda that you gave to me.
My ears are bad. I forgot to note that my hearing's gone too.
The little Honda Civic that you gave to me, and I drove out to college in.
What about the college?
The Honda Civic that you gave me.
What?
Never.
You had a Honda Civic that you gave to me
Yeah, what
that
about?
I drove out to college. That was another one. But so, do you remember where you were when you heard about JFK being shot?
Where I was when?
When you heard about JFK being shot.
Oh yeah, I was working in the the atomic energy installation in New York City, and we heard then that Kennedy had been shot and killed. You didn't ask me where I was in Pearl Harbor Day, which was more significant, I think. Yes, I was visiting an aunt and uncle in Pelham, Dr. Pettix and his wife Alice Pettix, who was my aunt, and whose child, Joan, was a good friend of Rosie. But we all heard it at that time, Pearl Harbor. That was a significant thing.
Yeah.
We thought, well, it's terrible about poor Jack Kennedy getting killed, but we didn't really put it in the category of Pearl Harbor.
So when you heard about Pearl Harbor, what do you remember
we
about
heard
how?
about it. We listened to the radio. We heard Franklin Roosevelt talk about the day of we'll live in infamy. We then knew we were at war.
How old were you then?
Let's see, 1940.
11.
11 years old, I guess.
And then September 11th. You were.
September 11th,
Same as us, the same story
Yeah.
I gave you.
we were, I heard about it with some friends
No,
we were going to play golf. We did play golf,
you heard it
Chevy
from
Chase.
Lizzie.
We discounted that. We heard a plane hit the World Trade Center, and because we all had experienced, this is a group of men that I knew, because we remembered a bomber hitting the Empire State Building in 1947, 48, something like that. So we didn't get too excited until we heard, pretty serious. Then, well, I think before I even went over to play golf, I got a call from Lizzie, who was then working on Upper Park Avenue. And she said, "Dad, what's going on?" I said, "I think a plane hit the World Trade," but I said, "It's not a big deal because a plane hit the World War II bomber, hit the Empire State Building." She said, "There's a lot of traffic, a lot of noise," and I said, "Forget it, it's not important." It turned out to be pretty important. So, memory's still working there.
Great. I think that's everything.
Anything else?
If there's anything else you wanted to mention?
The what?
Anything else you wanted to mention, or
Well, what else?
who was your best friend back when you were a kid?
My best friend?
Yeah,
Where?
when you were a kid.
At Kenwood.
When you were a kid.
When I was a kid. Let's see. Growing up, there was a little kid who I played with down the street. My dad thought that he had certain characteristics that probably shouldn't be pandered to. Anyhow, then because we moved around a lot, and there was a bunch of us in New Jersey we knew. One was a very, very, very bright young kid who, great athlete, brilliant student from Switzerland. And what got me later on, after I got into college and coming back home eventually for visits, I found out he never went to college, which was such a waste, because I think his father owned a business and wanted that son in the business right away. But there was a bunch of people.
Mm.
And then, of course, Fordham, there was another group of people, including a good friend from Massachusetts. Oh, I hung out at college with a bunch of kids from Massachusetts. Some people claimed I picked up part of their accent or something. One kid was a Italian boy who knew Rocky Marciano, the great fighter, because Rocky came from Massachusetts. Forgot what town, but anyhow, same town I think that this young guy. So we talked a lot about that.
Did you play sports growing up?
No, because didn't have time.
Busy studying.
I had not a study, but I had to go back to work. And
He worked his way
because of
partly
those
through college.
we didn't have tuition free or that sort of thing. If you wanted to stay in college, you had to put money on the line. But it was less money, of course, now. And I was not a resident either, so I had to commute. So I knew the subway system in New York like the back of my hand. In a way, I think I'm still attracted. I still feel I'm a New York type, not a Chevy Chase club.
And what was your favorite job out of all the ones you mentioned?
My favorite job?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the job in Vienna, Austria was my favorite job. I think we met, it was at the apex of a important element in history. I liked Hans Blix, who was the administrator. He and I got along well. We had a good mix of mostly foreign friends, because the Americans kept to themselves. They didn't bother with people of other nationalities. We, I think, circulated around, met a lot of diplomatic people, and they all treated us very well. And the ambassadors, Irish ambassador, Italian ambassadors, the British. So we had a good group, and I think that was the most enjoyable part of life.
Well, great. That's all my questions.
Any other questions? No questions from the gallery? No.
Well, thank you.
I probably forgot a lot of details.
Say about the origin of your name.
Well, the Dutch
Started out that
ambassador,
way.
yeah, the Dutch ambassador came running up and said, "We have a Dutchman in this job." I said, wait a minute, it's not Dutch, it's a German name. He said, "It is Dutch." And then he recited this poem by a famous British poem called "How I Brought the Good News from Aix to Ghent." And one of the writers was Dircks. But every time we went to the Irish ambassador's house for dinner, the Irish ambassador would always start reading that first few lines of the "How I Brought the Good News from Aix to Ghent."
But you didn't explain about the name and the CKS.
Yeah, oh, I see. Because the Dutch ambassador, I said the Dutch ambassador said, "Your name is Dircks," and we've dropped the name in Holland, we've dropped the C from the name. And I guess this family I had, they kept the C in there. Because if you look at the name of Dircks, there's only one vowel in that name.
Tell us again how you found your was it grandparents on that computer?
What about the grandparents?
Could you just repeat that story again?
Repeat the story about the computer
About the computer? And
in
And Lizzie.
Hamburg.
and
Looking up your
oh
grandpa.
yeah.
Could you tell that again for the camera?
You want to open up the file again?
Yeah.
It's probably not too
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
It's a good story.
Right, okay.
Alright.
Just cut it off.
Sure.
He doesn't want to tell it.
Oh, I'll tell. Be
Well,
happy.
It's too many facts.
But
It's too,
more like a little footnote. Huh?
Yeah, well, I like the footnotes,
Yeah.
I think.
Okay, put it in there.
Yeah. You'll have to tell it again, though. It wasn't recording.
can you erase some of that?
Yeah.
Oh, you can?
Hmm.
Oh, good.
I can edit
Right.
it.
Oh, good.
Is it too long?
No, not at all.
No, but just tell the story about how we saw this museum
Okay.
in Hamburg, about all the millions or thousands, how many?
All right.
Millions of people went through that port in those years.
Okay.
Tell that story. and how we looked in, and they have this museum with a computer, and how we punched in
Okay.
Dircks.
Well, you should tell the story because you're the one who did the computer work.
All right.
Yep.
And then you can, is it on?
Oh yeah, you can start.
We were once in a museum in Hamburg the museum was about the migration of Europeans from all over Europe that seemed to migrate through Hamburg and got onto ships into the New World. They all went through Hamburg. So they had this fascinating museum about all the immigrants that left the port back in the day in the 1800s. And they have this wonderful computer that you punch in a name. So we punched in Hugo Dircks, and he popped right up. And his wife, who Bill remembered his grandmother always being referred to as Elizabeth. However, when the names popped up, Hugo, it didn't say Elizabeth, it said Lizzie, which we thought was so funny since our daughter we call Lizzie. But nevertheless, this fascinating museum did, as I say, pop up the name right away,
Yeah.
when he left the port, etc.
This was 1879, before they even had Ellis Island in operation in the United States. People just came in, signed an immigration form, and then proceeded to find an apartment in Manhattan.
So what did he do when he first got here?
What did they do?
Yeah.
Well, my father, I guess, had friends who had already come in, and so they lived with him for
Grandpa.
a while. And then he had already got an appointment as a school teacher in New York.
Do you know what he taught?
I think it was German,
Oh.
because he had been a school teacher in Hamburg.
And did Lizzie work, do you think?
I don't know. Probably in those days, probably she
Probably not.
made Wurst and Sauerbraten. No, they didn't eat Sauerbraten in northern Germany. That's the good part of southern Germany. They had better cuisine. Northern Germans didn't eat too well. Well, they ate a lot, but not very good food. I mean, not tasty food.
That's a good way to end.